and in the world, notwithstanding contributing less than 0.47% of global emissions. That's the usual narrative, but from now on, certainly Bangladesh is not only a vulnerable country, it's a very resilient country, as described by our Honorable Salim Al-Haq. The impacts of climate change will put severe stress on our limited land and resources. Climate change, along with sea level rise, induce salinity, and other disasters are damaging our rice and crop production significantly. Sea level rise alone will be responsible for 5.8 to 9.1% of decline of rice production in the future. This is not only with sea level rise. Because of temperature rise, there will be lower production because of temperature rise. Besides, just 1 degree Celsius increase in global temperature and further sea level rise will result in the inundation of a large area of the country, and followed by displacement of 40 million people by the end of the century. Actually, when I prepared Bangladesh Delta Plan, led the preparation of Bangladesh Delta Plan 2100, we estimated using the Bangladesh Meteorological Department data, we found that in Dhaka city, climate already has risen to 0.8 degrees Celsius during the period of the data we used from 1972 to 2016. During this period, climate and temperature has risen to 0.8 degrees Celsius. It's quite big increase in terms of temperature. So it is obvious, no more hopes that there will be temperature rise. In recent times, intense climate-related disasters such as floods, droughts are also on the rise. Also, with the climate change, we have been facing rainfall variability, and I don't know why, reduction of total rainfall, average rainfall annually. And that period I referred to, the study period with the Meteorological Department data during the period 1972 to 2016. Our rainfall has total rainfall, annual rainfall on a decadal basis. We use 10-year average because yearly fluctuation may not reflect the true trend. So with decadal change, we found that the total temperature, average temperature, annual temperature was around around 600 millimeter of rainfall that came down to around 400 millimeter on a decadal basis, and that should be the true reflection of the trend, real trend. Meaning there has been high variability of rainfall, and in total terms, amount of rainfall has also reduced. So that will affect agriculture, ecology, everything. Anyway, earlier this year, almost 3/4 of the Sylhet region was inundated due to the heaviest rainfall of the region has seen in the last 100 years. So it's an unusual phenomenon. This time, it is observed that Kurigram also experienced the worst flooding and drought within a span of 2 weeks. It is also alarming that 2% of the GDP is regularly lost due to recurrent natural calamities and environmental degradation. Hence, climate change poses an existential threat to over 165 million people of the country. Actually, climate change affects everything, not only people, ecology, environment, natural resources, everything. Bangladesh has hardly contributed to the deterioration of the environment. In addition, we are trying to address the challenges of climate impact sourced from 1.1 million forcibly displaced Myanmar nationals or Rohingyas. This phenomenon is not only impacting our land and environment severely, but also our development and adaptation efforts. They degenerate many forest lands, as you already know. Distinguished guests, under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Bangladesh strives for shifting the country's vulnerability towards resilience. We have established the Bangladesh Climate Change Trust Fund, BCCTF as you know it, in 2009 for climate adaptation and have allocated over $480 million from our resources to implement over 800 mitigation and adaptation programs. In our annual development plan, the climate relevant allocation has been doubled, which increased from about $1.44 billion in fiscal year 2015-2016 to about $2.96 billion in financial year, last financial year 2021-22. For climate adaptation and resilience building, we have taken various steps such as the construction of sea dikes. We are improving our polders, what we have. We have 139 sea polders, and gradually we are trying to rebuild those and rising those from 4.5 meter to 6 meter to 6 meter sea dikes. We are building cyclone centers and initiatives of coastal plantations were there. Moreover, our government has taken a number of initiatives to rehabilitate climate displaced people. We are implementing the world's biggest housing project, namely Kruskul Asan Prokolpo, for people displaced by the impacts of climate change in Cox's Bazar. With the construction of 139 multi-story buildings along with ensuring all amenities to shelter 4,409 climate change affected families are accommodated there. Under the Aswan project, a landmark initiative of the government for the landless and homeless people, a total of 442,608 families, meaning 4,42,608 families have been given houses. Besides, the project also focuses on mitigation of climate change through implementing tree plantation, rainwater harvesting, solar home systems, and improved cook stoves. With a view to commemorating the birth centenary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the government has planted 10 million trees in 2020. Learned audience, the government has also adopted the Bangladesh Delta Plan 2100. We completed the preparation of this Delta Plan, spending 4 years and a half. We started preparation since 2012 to 2014, and then we completed in 2018. It was approved in the National Economic Council in September 2018. And from then on, it has been in implementation. Up until now, we are implementing 22 projects through ADP. Out of 80 projects suggested in the investment part of the plan, we suggested 80 projects amounting to 37 billion US dollar. So of that, 22 already have been included in the ADP and were put into operation. Ladies, learned audience, besides this, our new National Adaptation Plan, what is known as NAP in short, will be the main vehicle to address adaptation at the national level, which intends to reduce vulnerability to the impacts of climate change by building adaptive capacity and resilience to new and existing policies and programs. NAP will surely enable us to implement long-term coordinated climate adaptation programs. In the Delta Plan, we also emphasized nature-based solutions, and we emphasized not as our natural resources may not degrade. On mitigation, we have put emphasis on renewable energy, its efficiency and conservation. It is crucial to highlight that Bangladesh has one of the world's most extensive domestic solar energy programs. Bangladesh made a clear commitment to stop using coal-based power plants, and we have already cancelled 10 coal-based power plants with worth $12 billion of foreign investment. Of course, nowadays Germany also again started using coal plants because of energy shortage, gas shortage in Germany. Anyway, until now we are holding the view that we should not go with, further go with the coal plants for electricity generation. Distinguished guests, Bangladesh has become a significant player in global climate diplomacy. During our presidency of Climate Vulnerable Forum, the country emerged as a legitimate voice in the climate change negotiation under the able leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. And you know what role we played with this Climate Vulnerable Forum under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, as you heard from Dr. Solomon Hawk also. We have launched the Mujib Climate Prosperity Plan with the aim to put Bangladesh on a journey from climate vulnerability to resilience to climate prosperity. It is indeed one of the landmark policy guidelines for climate vulnerable countries. Bangladesh is one of the pioneers in submitting nationally determined contribution, which in short is a NDC. As a prerequisite for the Paris Agreement and Kyoto Protocol, Bangladesh asked the world community to submit their NDCs, and in response to the 70 countries have already submitted their NDCs, nationally determined contributions reports. Besides, Bangladesh has created the Climate Vulnerability Forum and V20, which is in short known V20, Vulnerable 20, joint multi-donor fund for supporting climate action among the members. In addition, Bangladesh is ready to support other vulnerable countries to develop their own prosperity plans. We are sharing the best practices and adaptation knowledge with other climate vulnerable countries through the Global Center on Adaptation's South Asia Regional Office, which is located in Dhaka. Honored audience, our government has given utmost priority to climate diplomacy. Hence, Bangladesh feels to continue enhanced international climate cooperation through advocacy and outreach. Bangladesh firmly believes that climate change is a security issue and it must be discussed at a regular interval at the United Nations Security Council. The strict implementation of the Paris Agreement is necessary to reduce the adverse impacts of the climate change. This is high time. The major emitters need to meet the mitigation target swiftly. Besides, the issue of loss and damage must be addressed with utmost importance. The international community must support the vulnerable developing countries with financial resources and appropriate technologies in support of the adaptation efforts. And for that, for evolving technology, we need to invest more on climate researches. Furthermore, all leaders need to promote inclusive climate action on an urgent basis. We look forward to the 27th session of the Conference of the Parties, which is known as COP, Conference of the Parties of the UNFCCC, commonly known as COP27, to be held from 6 to 18 November in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, for having more focused actions, particularly on climate finance and climate justice, which are essential for meeting the long-term goals of the Paris Agreement and the 2030 Development Agenda, which is known as SDGs. Ladies and gentlemen, this seminar has given us ample opportunity through sharing ideas and experiences from the scholars and climate diplomacy of Bangladesh. Experience from the scholars on climate diplomacy of Bangladesh. I firmly believe that the exchange of ideas in today's seminar will certainly help to generate a better understanding of the contemporary constraints and choices for Bangladesh regarding the issues of climate change and climate diplomacy. I also expect this seminar will be able to shed light on the key concerns of Bangladesh for the upcoming COP27. With these high notes, I would like to thank again BIISS for organizing this seminar and inviting me to be amongst you as the chief guest. I thank you all for participation and patience hearing. I look forward to have positive and useful outcomes from this learned discourse. Thank you all.